What's up, Tim Sykes here with Roland Wolf and Mike Huddy. We are all profiting in this market and we want to share what's been working with us so that you can learn better. And I should mention, each of these guys has not just made a lot of money, they're also now teaching. So I'm going to provide two links underneath, one for Roland Wolf's new service. It is phenomenal because you get inside this guy's head, and he just passed $1 million. I'm going to brag about him because he's a pretty humble guy. And then also for Steady Trade, where you're going to get to see this guy who just made $200,000 last month after just graduating college. It doesn't even matter. He's making literally what college grads would love to make over several years after they're like a bitch at their jobs for several years. You skipped all of that and just went straight to the money, and you can get webinars from him. So click those two links if you want to learn from these guys. What's the number one lesson right now, summer 2020?
Summer 2020, cut losses quickly still for me.
Go! I told you he was humble.
I'm sorry.
This guy literally just passed $1 million in profits, and his number one tip is cut losses quickly. I appreciate that. You're right. But how do we capitalize on all this volatility? You don't even have that many losses.
No, I mean, right now, for me, it's always been cutting losses quickly because there's so much opportunity. As long as I'm able to keep those losses minimal, it's almost hard to not make money right now. And that's
if
really
you stick to that first rule.
If I stick to that first rule. And I mean, it's just one of those markets. It's a really special market we're in right now, and I'm still abiding by the same principles that I use in the slow market.
What's your biggest profit the past few weeks?
The past few weeks was CYDY as well. Only to the short side, unfortunately, but that was 17,000.
CYDY was a fantastic supernova. I made nearly 30,000 from the long side, but I totally sold it too soon, and you shorted it and you missed the bounce. So I want you to understand, none of us are like perfect traders, right? Where we can see our mistakes, right? Even when I'm trying to basically get him to brag about his gains, he's like, I missed the other side. For me, I caught the dip, but I missed, holding it too long. How much did you make on CYDY?
I made 33.
When you made 33,000, what did your dad say when you called him?
Actually, he said, why not 100?
What?
Yeah.
He's greedy.
Well, he expects more from me.
And what I said, we had this conversation off camera, but I said, don't force trades, making 33,000, making 17,000. I made about 27,000. That's fantastic money. Obviously, we can do better. What could you have done better on the trade?
I think the key is focus and adaptability, as it always is. I mean, you got to focus on the right stocks trading the right volume, and the stocks in the right sector. And if you put yourself in the right situation to really hedge your bets, you can make a big profit. And that's not what I did on CYDY to the extent to make 100.
Yeah.
But I was still able to make 33.
Yeah, and CYDY was one of the best supernovas of the past few months. I mean, I was buying it in the 3s, selling it around 4, underestimating it so badly because it went to the 10s, 11s, 4, 5, 6 days later. But it's a multi-day runner. A lot of people say, how do you find the best stocks? The stocks will pop out and show you if you're prepared. If you see a stock running 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, the more it runs, the higher it goes, you know that it's going to eventually crash. And I'm just talking about low price stocks. I'm not talking about other niches where, sometimes you have big runs with acquisitions or whatever. But with low price stocks, junk stocks that have been promoted, like CYDY, where it goes from basically 3 to 11, you know that a crash is inevitable. And I hopefully have taught you this pattern, right? You know this pattern.
Yeah.
But you went short?
I went short.
Why?
I went short because it was just super, super extended. It's one of those amazing days, kind of like we saw CBSI was the last one I remember that was that clear.
Yeah.
And when we get those plays, I mean, the price action's so clear, the turns where it goes from down to up and vice versa is so clear.
Why didn't you try to dip by it when it went to, it dropped from 11 to 4 in about, 30 minutes?
I know a lot of that had to do with my dislike in the amount of size I had.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of dealing with some psychological issues, and because of that I had some FOMO going. I should have had this and should have had that.
And then it bounced so quickly.
And then it bounced over just about 100%.
Yeah, nearly 100% from the 4 to 8.
And I saw the turn and just kind of froze up. I did re-short the bounce, very well. So I mean, I played it, but I was a little bit unhappy that I missed a turn like that.
In a perfect world, you go short on the crash and then long on the bounce and then short again. This is a classic 4, 5, 6 from my penny stocking framework guide. I missed the short because I'm frankly scared of shorting right now. I think it's a crowded strategy. These guys nailed the short. I like dip buys, but you have to do what you like. Actually, leave a comment below. Let me know. Do you like dip buys, or do you like shorting, or do you like both? You have 3 choices. There's no one right answer. Hopefully what I want you to learn from these guys is not just about making a lot of money. It's recognizing your mistakes. It's yes, cutting losses quickly. Yes, sizing up when you feel it, like when it hits your targets and it's like a perfect pattern. But also just doing what feels natural to you. Like you shouldn't be like, oh, I don't want to short sell, but I have to do it. Like, that's not how it is. If you see me ever in like a Vegas casino where people are like, come on, Tim, gamble. And I'm like, no, I really don't like this. The odds are not good. When I trade these stocks, like I know that you think I'm a gambler, but when we trade these stocks, like the odds can be in our favor. So if you make me go and just play a random game where I know like the odds of winning are like 47, 48, 49%, like I have tried. And I'm trying to have fun. I'm drinking like my little Jack and Ginger, or like, sometimes I do like a Red Bull vodka, and I'm like, come on, work. Try to feel comfortable, but I'm not.
That's
I'm
so
not
true.
comfortable.
Stock trading has ruined gambling for myself and as well as Roland. We've been to the casino and we're
Really?
playing blackjack
Yeah,
and we don't
ruined
like the
it.
risk reward.
I didn't even know that.
No,
we hate
it's
it.
boring, and you put the money down, and you're either going to get double that or none of it, and it's just
You can't cut your losses.
You can't cut losses. You're
You can't
just
cut
all
quickly.
in on every.
I had no idea.
And psychologically it affects us.
We tried in Vegas. We weren't able to gamble.
But it's all about taking, advantage of good odds. And that's what I want you guys to see. Like, I know it's penny stocks. I know it's like the world hates it, but the odds can really be on your side if it fits your pattern. Like, how many times have you seen that pattern where CYDY was cracking? Like, where Jack Kellogg, literally in the chat room, when it was cracking 10, he's like, see you at 5. Like, he's predicting a 50% drop, which he absolutely nailed.
And I've probably seen it like, I don't know, 500 times. I mean, that's the number that really sticks out to me. And it's probably a little bit less, but you get the gist.
Yeah,
I mean, I've seen
hundreds.
it so many times. But CYDY was the best of the 500.
Yeah.
Fannie Mae, CVSI, like you mentioned earlier, those were the best of this pattern. But there's many versions of the pattern as we progress through the years, and those are just as good as well.
But you don't know firsthand, like, which is going to be the best. Like, you try them, you try the predictable patterns, but like Tim Bertani made $270,000 on this. He gave a challenge webinar that night, which was awesome. And he said like this was like the most perfect crash that he's seen. That's why he had his biggest profit. So you don't know going in like, oh, this is going to be the best one. This is like absolutely perfect. But it's, within your range. Like this is a pattern that you've seen. How many times have you seen a pattern like CYDY?
I'd say pretty much the same as Huddy. Just so many to the same pattern. It just repeats itself and repeats itself. But once in a while, like CYDY and CVSI and Fannie Mae, it's a special one.
Yeah.
It gets super extended on super volume, and it becomes this clean, beautiful chart.
And that's why, like, I know I talk a lot of crap about a lot of these stocks and these promoters. I want them to go as high as possible. Like, if you know a promoter that's been kind of underperforming, like, send them, like, some extra Coke or send them, like, an edible arrangement. Give them some vitamins that their body needs so they can pump better, right? Like, we want these stocks as high as possible for the biggest crash and the biggest bounce. We love that volatility. So if you know any promoters' addresses, send them to me. I'll send them an edible arrangement. I think that would be an amazing gift. I'm not going to do the whole Coke because I really think that's going to hurt them long term. I'm trying to look out for them. A good promoter is really in demand right now. It's kind of like an endangered species. Like I try to save like the rhino. I try to save the coral reefs with my charity. I want to save the promoters. Like let's get them in rehab. I don't know what the solution is. Whatever works because we love promoters and we love plays like this. Remember there are 2 links below this. Click to see Roland Wolf's new newsletter. And this is what I love. These guys have taken my teachings and now they're completely self-sufficient. They don't need me. They don't need to listen to my webinar. This is what I want from all of you guys, to just study what I have learned. Hopefully that speeds up your learning curve and then utilize it to change your life. This guy's made $1 million and then you just built a house from scratch for your family.
Yeah.
And this guy doesn't know what to do because he's just got too much money in the bank and just graduated college. So he's just traveling all over the place and now he's not because there's a pandemic going on. And he has ultimate freedom. That's a good problem to have. I know some people in this pandemic have to go into work. They're like, yeah, Tim, I know you want to say stay home and trade, but like they have to go to their crappy jobs making minimum wage and getting treated like bitches while risking getting infected.
Yeah.
Freedom is better. So click that link for Steady Trade if you want webinars from him. He does it nonstop. It's actually really useful, him and Tim Bowen. And Roland Wolf's new service, I cannot recommend it enough. Have a good day. Leave a comment below. Do you like going short? Do you like dip buying? Or do you like both?